There you'll see what looks like a pin with a base. If I can get my camera right, it's right there. It's between the pad and the wheel. There's a better shot, maybe. There it is, right there. You can see it, okay? And if you look down on it, you'll see that when we try to move this way, it hits. And if we try to move this way, it hits as well. And that prevents this front truck from rotating out of alignment with its extended rear wheels inward. Now, the rear truck on this assembly so far will rotate all the way around. And then I was wondering, well, what do I do here? But then I realized that's because on the factory one, we have our steps there, and it hits the steps. And the reason we don't have our steps on is I'm mailing the steps separate because they have to be glued on, and I didn't want to ship them with the chance of getting broken off. So we're going to send them, glue them on, and see how that works. And it may come to pass that I have to put a screw in them to give them the strength if he's going to bang on them like this a lot. In any case, I got the factory one in properly. It's working, and I was able to take this thing apart. That's how I did it. Use my model that I had reprinted. I flipped it over because everything is on the center line. I found the hole. I marked the hole, put it on the center line. I used 3 drills. I used the pilot drill to make sure the hole was straight. Then I did the clear drill for the size of screw, and then I did a countersink for the cylinder head, for the screw head to get sunk down so it's not so protruding. Now, and here while we're here, I'll show you a tiny bit of solder with flux is on the top of this tiny bit of solder here. So when you have now, you bring your feed line in, all you have to do is pre-tin it, lay it on top of here with a little bit of flux, and just warm those two up, and they should fuse, and that should fuse really fast without overheating this rivet. Okay, you don't want to overheat the rivet anyway because I have that fiber thing, but in this case, this piece is not steel, right? It's plastic, so you don't want to overheat the rivet. At any rate, that should take care of that, and these holes all line up perfectly, I have to say. Designed the thing right, and boy, it just does. And I've had the screws in it before, and the screws all fit beautifully. It's flush to the chassis. There's room for the reverse unit, and it mounts down. And then here's where you would screw in your connector, right there. Screws in your connector with one of those stubby shoulder screws, and you should be ready to go. And the cabling comes right out the same opening, and the steps will line up with these steps. I've tested that, and they will glue on that end and match up. And there's the pin, side view of the pin. Boom, there it is. Yep. Now, I didn't clean these up. These trucks, he sent them to me. I didn't put that cord on there. I did polish the brass to make sure I had good continuity. I want to make sure everything has good continuity. At any rate, that's it, I think. From a replication view, I have this. I have one spare one. I also have one spare stopper piece. I'm going to go ahead and mount that, so I'll have a spare one if anyone needs one. This is the one Tim sent. So I have to return his model that he sent me and this, and then he's happy. This is mine, and then I'll keep this, and then we're done. Okay, and then we'll move on to his other projects, which should be interesting to you. American Flyer O-gauge with the body shell identical to the Flyer S. So I'm going to have a lot of fun with that and see what we can transfer over from our S work to the O work, because of flyer. Yeah, pretty cool. Okay, I'm going to button this up. I just wanted to get that on the record. It's done. Not only is it done, it works. It's pretty cool. I figured it out. That would probably be the way I would want to attach that piece anyway. So you have now a big, well, a 256 screw holding that together. So it's going to give it some strength. And it should do what it's supposed to as far as keeping that pivot from, or that truck from pivoting. Okay, that's all. I'm done with this. I'm going to go back and try to find something else to do.